Stop obsessing over ballistics tables for a second. Seriously. Here's the hard truth. Most guys do not tag out because they missed the shot. They fail because they're miserable. They're cold, their feet are wet, and their back is screaming. You can have the most accurate rifle on the planet, but if you're back at the truck drinking coffee because your gear failed you, that buck is walking away laughing. Today, I'm showing you 7 pieces of kit that actually keep you in the field long enough to fill that tag. Work smarter, not harder. Coming in at number 7, we have the binocular harness. Look, I honestly do not understand how some of you guys still walk into the woods with a single strap around your neck. It is amateur hour. You take one step over a log and your expensive glass swings out and smacks against your rifle stock with a loud clunk that scares every deer in the county. Plus, that thin strap cuts into your neck like a wire cheese slicer after 3 miles. You need a proper harness. Technically speaking, this works by utilizing a 4-point elastic suspension system that centers the optic directly on your sternum. Instead of the weight hanging directly off your cervical spine, the tension is distributed evenly across your shoulders and upper back, effectively neutralizing the load. It keeps the glass tight to your body, meaning you can crawl, climb, or sprint without your optics bouncing around like a loose pendulum. Now, I will be real with you about the downside. In the early season, having that large pouch strapped to your chest creates a massive heat trap. You are going to sweat underneath it, and it is going to get clammy against your shirt. But honestly, that is a small price to pay for having your optics ready to go in a split second without giving yourself a chiropractor bill. Stop letting your gear fight you. Get strapped in. Stepping up to number 6, we have the modern shooting tripod. I'm gonna say something that might bruise your ego. Most of you cannot shoot nearly as well as you think you can, especially when you're winded from hiking up a steep ridge. I see guys all the time trying to lean against a wet sapling or resting their rifle on a backpack that is slowly sliding off a rock. When that trophy buck steps out at 300 yards and your adrenaline is dumping into your system, your hands are gonna shake. It's a biological fact. Trying to freehand that shot is unethical and irresponsible. You need artificial stability. Technically, what you want is a system with carbon fiber legs and a locking ball head saddle. Unlike a simple bipod, a tripod provides vertical support that is independent of the terrain angle. The carbon fiber construction effectively absorbs the vibration from the shot, while the ball head allows you to pan and tilt under tension, maintaining a perfect 0-point hold without muscle fatigue. It turns a wobbling sight picture into something that feels like it is frozen in a block of ice. However, I have to be honest about the downside: speed. Setting these things up is not instant. If a deer jumps up right in front of you, you're going to be fumbling with leg locks while he's running into the next county. And let's not ignore the noise. If you accidentally clang one of those hollow legs against a rock, it sounds like a dinner bell ringing through the canyon. But for a static ambush, this gear is non-negotiable. Moving on to number 5. We are talking about electronic ear protection. Stop being stubborn. I know exactly what the old-timers say. They say, I cannot hunt with earplugs because I need to hear the deer coming. So instead, you blow your eardrums out with a high-caliber muzzle brake and spend the rest of your life saying what to your wife every time she speaks. That is not tough, it's just stupid. Modern electronic headsets change the entire game because they offer total situational awareness without the damage. Technically, these devices utilize omnidirectional microphones linked to a dynamic compression circuit. Instead of passively blocking all noise like a cheap foam plug, the system actively amplifies low-decibel ambient sounds, like a hoof stepping on dry leaves, while instantly compressing any impulse noise that spikes above 82 decibels. It basically gives you bionic hearing. You can hear a squirrel scratching bark from 40 yards away, but when you pull the trigger, the report is muffled to a polite clap. Now, here's the deal breaker that drives me crazy: wind noise. On a blustery day, those microphones pick up every gust of wind, and it sounds like someone is blowing directly into your ear canal. It's distracting and can actually mask the sound of game if you don't buy a high-end set with specific foam windscreens. Also, they get hot. After sitting in the stand for 4 hours in early September, having rubber cups sealed against your head feels like wearing a swamp. But honestly, preserving your senses is worth the discomfort. This gear protects your ears, but the monster sitting at number 1 is going to save your spine from total failure. Now we get serious at number 4, the laser rangefinder with angle compensation. I'm gonna call you out right now. You cannot judge distance. I do not care how many years you have been in the woods. Human eyes are terrible at estimating range across a canyon or up a steep ridge. You guess 400 yards, but it's actually 350. You dial your turret, you squeeze the trigger, and your bullet sails harmlessly over the back of the deer. That is not just a missed shot, that is a failure of preparation. You need a rangefinder that does the math for you. Technically, this is about more than just shooting a laser beam. This device features an integrated inclinometer that measures the angle of the slope relative to the horizon. Here's the science. Gravity only acts on a bullet over the horizontal distance, not the line of sight distance. If you're shooting up a 40-degree slope, the Pythagorean theorem dictates that the horizontal distance is significantly shorter than what your eyes see. This unit instantly calculates the cosine of that angle and gives you the true ballistic range. It takes a complex trigonometry problem and solves it in a nanosecond, ensuring your bullet drop compensation is mathematically perfect. But let's be real about the deal breaker: atmospherics. These lasers struggle hard in rain, fog, or heavy snow. When moisture particles are hanging in the air, the laser beam refracts and bounces back before it hits the target, giving you a false reading of 12 yards when the deer is clearly 300 yards out. It's frustrating enough to make you want to throw the unit off a cliff. Sound off in the comments below if you ever missed a trophy because you trusted your eyes instead of the math. I read every single comment. Entering the elite tier at number 3, we have the replaceable blade knife system. I have been there. It is pitch black, it is freezing cold, and you are halfway through field dressing an elk when your edge goes dull. Trying to sharpen a knife on a whetstone by the light of a headlamp is a nightmare. It is dangerous and it wastes precious time. You need a system that ensures a razor edge instantly. Technically, this design abandons the traditional fixed blade geometry for a locking surgical scalpel interface. Instead of relying on a thick primary bevel that creates drag, these blades are incredibly thin strips of heat-treated stainless steel that snap onto a retention lug. Because the blade geometry is so thin, the coefficient of friction is almost zero. It unzips thick hide like a laser cutter moving through wet paper. When the edge starts to drag, you do not stop to sharpen. You pop the old blade off, snap a new one on, and you are back to work in 10 seconds flat. But I have to warn you about the deal breaker: fragility. These blades are built for slicing, not prying. If you try to twist one of these blades to pop a hip socket, it will snap in half instantly, sending a piece of razor-sharp steel flying into the meat, or worse, into your hand. They are specialized tools, not pry bars. This keeps your processing fast. But wait until you see the absolute game changer at number 1. Closer to the crown at number 2, we have the phone Skope adapter. Let's be real for a second. We live in a digital world. If you do not have video proof, did it even happen? I see guys at the range all the time trying to hold their smartphone up to the eyepiece of their spotting scope with their bare hands. It is painful to watch. They are shaking like a leaf. The image is blacking out, and the footage looks like it was filmed during an earthquake inside a washing machine. It is absolute garbage. You need a dedicated interface system. Technically, this adapter works by utilizing a custom-molded friction plate combined with a self-centering optic receiver. It creates a mechanical lock between your smartphone camera lens and the exit pupil of the scope. This alignment is critical because it eliminates vignetting, that annoying black circle that cuts off the edge of your image. It essentially turns your spotting scope into a massive telephoto lens, allowing you to record 4K footage of an animal from a mile away with zero vibration. It locks in tight like a vise, ensuring that what you see is exactly what you record. However, there is a major annoyance that I have to point out: planned obsolescence. The system relies on a specific phone case for your specific model. That means the second you upgrade from an iPhone 15 to an iPhone 16, your old case is useless plastic. You have to buy a new kit every time you upgrade your tech, and the damage to your wallet starts to add up. It is a racket, but it is the only way to get professional footage without carrying a 10-pound cinema camera up the mountain. Finally, we have arrived at the summit. Number 1. The frame backpack system. Listen to me carefully. You can have the best rifle, the clearest glass, and the sharpest knife. But if you kill a bull elk 5 miles deep in the backcountry and you cannot get him out, you have failed. I see guys trying to haul quarters out with cheap day packs that have zero structural support. It is physically painful to watch. Their straps dig into their shoulders like wire, their spine compresses, and they look like they're being tortured. That is how you get a herniated disc. You need a pack that does the work for you. Technically, the magic here lies in the functional load lifters combined with a rigid carbon fiber frame. Unlike a standard backpack that hangs weight off your trapezius muscles, this system mechanically transfers the load downward directly into the lumbar pad and hip belt. When you tighten those load lifters, it pulls the weight off your shoulders and creates a gap. It effectively bypasses your spine entirely, pushing the gravity vector straight into your hips and legs, which are the strongest muscles in your body. It turns a crushing 100-pound load into something that feels manageable. It changes a death march into a heavy walk. But here's the truth about the downside: the bulk. These external frame packs are wide and rigid. When you're trying to sneak through thick brush or sit in a cramped tree stand, the frame catches on every single branch and makes a scratching noise that sounds like a saw cutting wood. It's annoying, and it makes you feel like a bull in a china shop. But when you're packing out meat and your back doesn't hurt, you will realize this is the most important piece of gear you own. This is the difference between quitting early and hunting for a lifetime. Here is the bottom line. Hunting is not a fashion show. It is an endurance sport. Stop buying gear just because it looks cool on Instagram. Buy gear that solves a physical problem. Invest in your body. Protect your ears, save your back, and stabilize your shot. If you do that, you will stay in the field longer. And that is how you fill the freezer. Train hard, stay safe, and I will see you downrange.